Good morning, students. Welcome back to our English class. I hope all of you are safe and in good health. Here, we are going to start our third chapter from the literature reader. The name of the lesson is Pret in the House by Ruskin Bond. From the name of the lesson itself, you know that it is the story of a pret or ghost, isn't it? Have you ever seen a ghost? No, right? But I know you are all interested to hear stories of ghosts or eager to watch films based on that. How many of you have seen the film Chandramukhi? Yes, it's the story of a ghost. Here, in this story, we are going to learn about a ghost. It's a very mysterious ghost, otherwise a very naughty ghost. Before going to start the story, we have to learn about the author, right? Ruskin Bond wrote this story. He is an Indian author of British origin. He lives in Missouri, India. He was awarded Padma Shri in 1999 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. Some of his most famous works are The Room on the Roof, The Blue Umbrella, Cherry Tree, etc. The story is in first person narrative. Now we can go through the story. A young boy lives with his grandparents and uncle in a house next to an old peepal tree that overlooks the road. Now we see that grandmother decided to shift the family to a new house all because of Pret. Pret, a mischievous ghost, lives in the peepal tree and it pulls pranks on people walking or driving their carts or cars underneath. For many years, the pet had lived there happily. It was not bothered about anyone in the house because he was always busy making pranks on the people on the road. Sometimes when a tonga was passing, he would frighten the horse. Do you know what a tonga is? It's a Hindi word for a horse-drawn two-wheeled vehicle. You can see an image of a tonga here. Do you know what would happen to the tonga then? As the horse was frightened, it would go in a wrong direction. Sometimes the prey would get into the engine of a car or bus, which would lead to a breakdown soon. He also liked to knock the hats off from the huts of sahibs. Then these sahibs would curse or wonder from where the breeze had sprung up so suddenly. The prey was invisible to the human eye. So people avoided walking beneath the peepal tree during night time because they believed that if they yawned beneath the tree, the prey would jump down through the mouth and would ruin the digestion. Grandmother's tailor Jaspal is like any other tailor who had anything ready on time. He blamed Preth for his inability to complete the work on time because once when he was walking under the peepal tree, he yawned but forgot to close his mouth. It was mandatory to close your mouth when you yawn. Otherwise, the Preth would go inside. So, the Preth went inside Jaspal's stomach, and from that day onwards, Jaspal had been suffering from tummy upsets. But the Preth did not do any harm to the family members of the boy until one day his grandfather gave permission for the PWD people to cut the peepal tree to widen the road. Now the Pret had become homeless. The next day itself, the family understood that the Pret had made this bungalow as his house. He started to trouble the people in the house in all sorts of ways. He began to hide grandmother's spectacles from wherever she kept it. She insisted that she kept it on the table, but it was not there. A little day later, they found it. From where they got it? It was balanced precariously on the snout of a stuffed wild boar that was mounted on the veranda as a decorative piece. Let us stop here. Now we can look at the difficult words that we came across. Mischievous. Behaving in a way that is slightly bad but is not intended to cause serious harm. Curse, a word used for expressing anger. Breeze, a light wind. Blame, to think or say that a certain person or thing is responsible for something bad that has happened. Then mandatory, that you must do. Yawn, to open your mouth wide when you are tired. Prevail, to exist in a particular place or at a particular time. Deprived, not having enough of the basic things in life. Grumbled, to complain in a bad-tempered way. Precariously, in a way that is likely to fall. So, students, please try to frame sentences of your own with these words. We will continue in the next class. Thank you.